Ours is a Sai family. I went to Puttaparthi in 1977, first time, as a Balvika student. Since then, I have been going on a regular basis to Puttaparthi. So we know Puttaparthi, what it is, and Swami is. We love Swami. Absolutely, no second thought about it. We love him. Then 1 week later, he called me again, interview room. And so, okay, when are you coming to Vrindavan?
He asked you that?
Yeah, he asked me. I said, Swami, as soon as I finish my exams, I will come to Vrindavan. He said, do the exams well. Then he created money and gave it to me. And
he created money?
He created money.
Don't gloss over that fact. How did he do it?
Well, he just waved it. That was not the first manifestation. More than the Swami created something to you, as soon as you come out of the interview room, the kind of attention you get from other students and devotees. Well, I have seen that many a time when I came out of the interview room, I have seen devotees touching my hand, and it keeps you in a false moment those times. You know, that time you really get excited. Okay,
sure.
I'm no different. But today, when you look back, manifestations are totally negligible when compared to the internal transformation which he brought in.
Absolutely. Describe for me why it was an uncomfortable type of attention you were getting from the instructors and the fellow students. Was it because Baba was blessing you with so many interviews, or was it for another reason?
There was no other reason. It was too much of attention.
Too much of?
Attention.
Because you were so blessed by Swami, others were becoming, what, jealous maybe, or wondering why you?
At that point of time, I cannot put all my emotions in one word or two different words and say, but I can summarize everything saying that I was not very comfortable. One beautiful thing which we had with Swami is, many of the students agree that the rapport with Swami is very informal. You know, you feel Swami is your friend. You can go and share everything. That's a kind of intimacy. You never treat Swami as God. He cracks jokes with us, he plays with us, he talks to us, and particularly my seniors, they would have experienced much, much more. Very informal sessions with Swami.
Murali Kotikalapoodi from St. Louis, Missouri received his MBA degree from Sai Baba's University in Puttaparthi, India, where he studied from 1988 to 1990. Welcome to Souljourns and to part 2 of our Sai devotee interview series from the Kansas Sai Center. This interview was recorded in Overland Park, Kansas in September 2011.
You were one of Swami's students.
Right. I studied in Puttaparthi for my MBA between 88 and 90. Then I worked in Puttaparthi also for the Central Trust for 6 months before coming out of Puttaparthi.
And what did you do for the Central Trust?
I worked in accommodation office.
Ah.
Like, accommodation office is very prominent. Anyone who goes to Puttaparthi, you have to go through that
Yeah,
unless you have a own accommodation outside.
You got to meet thousands of people.
Right, yeah. And I have seen a lot of prominent people, Charles Penn, almost everyone came to us.
When you're in graduate school, does Swami give you jobs to do there like that?
Well, those days, particularly professional courses, MBA and MTech later came up, but none of the students want to go out of Puttaparthi after completing their courses. You would see the same thing with Sai also, Sai Manikam. He finished his post-graduation, he went for second post-graduation because he wanted to stay in Puttaparthi.
He wanted to prolong his...
Yeah, exactly. And then some of the students who do not get their PhD admission, then they'll stay back and continue for second post-graduation. No one wants to go for a job outside.
So you all have a scheme. You want to stay with Swami.
And the amount of love which Swami shows and concern which he shows, yeah, definitely everyone wants to stay with him.
Well, I hear that over and over again, and I need you to give me a couple of examples of what that love looks like.
I probably give an example like how I went to Puttaparthi. That gives more meaning. I was doing my engineering. I finished my engineering in 88, and that's the time my father, like my brother was already studying in Puttaparthi. He was younger to me by 3 years, and he was already went to Puttaparthi at 7th grade. He's been studying there. And when I was completing my final year of engineering, my father asked me, why didn't you apply for Puttaparthi for MBA? I said, come on, Puttaparthi is such a small place, because MBA was started only 2 years before. 86 MBA started, and I said, okay, I don't want to go to an university which has fresh batches of MBA without knowing what's going to happen in the future. I want to apply for something IIMs or something better than that one. That was the ambition for most of the group members in engineering. So we wanted to study hard and go for some higher education in a reputed institution. And my father said, no, here is the application, I'm sending it. He got the application from my brother and he sent it to me.
And why was he so adamant about sending you there?
He has seen my brother work studying there and he has seen the benefits. And I happen to be, ours is a Sai family. I went to Puttaparthi in 1977, first time as a Balavika student. Since then I have been going on a regular basis to Puttaparthi. So we know Puttaparthi, what it is and Swami is. We love Swami, absolutely, no second thought about it. We love him. Forget about God, but as an individual, because Swami spoke to us and we know him, we love him so much. But at the same time, I have different perceptions in my career. I said, okay, when it comes to MBA, which is completely professional,
You want to get the best you can.
I assumed something else is better. Better is somewhere lying. I said no to Puttaparthi.
And then how did your father change your mind?
He didn't change his mind. He kept quiet. I didn't change my mind. I kept quiet. I didn't apply. So I went back. By the time I went home, the last day for applying to MBA was over. And my father's first question, as soon as I entered home, he asked, did you send your application to Parthi? I said, no, I told you I'm not going to apply. He didn't say anything and kept quiet. 2 days later, in the first week of May of 1988, he came and asked me, do you have the application still with you? I said, I have the application. He said, fill it and send it. I had to fill it. I sent it. It took a long time because I didn't have my certificates. I had to go over and finally I went and submitted it. 10 days after the due date was over, and I got my hall ticket back, and they said, okay, along with the hall ticket, you bring your photograph because you forgot to send your photographs to the application. So affix one photograph on the hall ticket and bring another photograph for our records. So I took photographs and went there, got the admission. That's the way how I got in. And I was thinking that I went through the same drill, the written test, group discussion, and finally interview with the registrar. And I succeeded. I thought, okay, everything was my merit. And you would hear the same story from so many MBA students saying that, okay, everyone says we got into MBA because of our merit, and Swami gives a different reason for that. It happened to me also. I was in Parthi, and being a privileged student of MBA, that too third batch of MBA students, Swami used to call us group interviews, and very frequently we used to get frequent interviews with Swami. And Swami gave some personal attention those days, and he used to call me individually also for interviews. And one such time, when we were nearing the completion of MBA, I went to Swami and asked, Swami, I want to come to Vrindavan. He said, when you want to come to Vrindavan? Swami, I heard that you are going to Vrindavan pretty soon. I want to join you. He said, who said I'm going to Vrindavan? I said, Swami, everyone is saying it. Okay. Then Swami said, smiled it, and he didn't say anything. Then 1 week later, he called me again, interview room, and said, okay, when are you coming to Vrindavan?
He asked you that?
Yeah, he asked me. I said, Swami, as soon as I finish my exams, I will come to Vrindavan. He said, do the exams well. Then he created money and gave it to me. And
he created money?
He created money.
Don't gloss over that fact. How did he do it?
Well, he just waved it. That was not the first manifestation for me. He gave different watches and other things earlier also. And
well, I've heard he's created money, but I never knew anybody for whom he created the money. So he just waved his hand and rupees showed up.
Yeah, it's a brand new currency. Usually what happens is those times it's very exciting to say that, okay, I got a manifestation, because as soon as, it's more than that Swami created something to you. As soon as you come out of the interview room, the kind of attention you get from other students and devotees. Well, I have seen that many a time when I came out of the interview room, I have seen devotees touching my hand, and it keeps you in a false moment those times. You know, that time you really get excited. Okay,
sure.
I'm no different. But today, when you look back, manifestations are totally negligible when compared to the internal transformation which he brought in.
Absolutely. And you've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, because so now I don't talk much about manifestations because those are gone. And today, I'm standing out in front of anyone and talking about Swami. And one thing which really always triggers me, saying that Swami said, when I was coming out of Puttaparthi, if you don't get good marks to me, I'm okay. Never bring remarks to me saying that, okay, Swami student is behaving like this. And that is the one which always keeps me in my checks my position and says, okay, look, this is what I have to do. This is what Swami is expecting me to do. The way how I talk, present myself, and says, okay, more than any position, today I am the regional vice president or maybe a manager in my office, whatever it is, more than all these things, when I open my mouth, people should feel that, okay, oh, look, this guy, he's having some values. The day I don't have it, I am cheating him.
So you're really saying that in your estimation and in the mind of Baba, values are more important than good marks, even.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody's going to get good marks, but everybody can practice good values.
Exactly, yeah. And Swami insists on good marks also, academics also.
Oh, he
because
does.
He needs all-round performance. He needs all. And Swami
What
stood
if you're
like that
limited? There are some students for whom they can work 24 hours out of the day and not get anything other than marginally good marks, let's say.
I don't get into somebody else, but when Swami specifically says that you do it, he knows that you are capable of doing it. We don't do it. And Swami says that I expect you are nothing but you are only a part of me. Everyone is God. We are, but we don't try to move in that direction. Coming back to the story, then when he created money and gave me, I said, Swami, as soon as I finish my exams, I'll come. Then we finished our exam. 5 of us actually, we hired a taxi and we went to Parthi. We went to Vrindavan. We went a little late, and by the time we reached Vrindavan, Swami was finishing his session in Kalyan Mandap. He was coming out. All 5 of us stood right in front of the door, waiting for Swami to come and see us. We were wearing white dress, holding our baggages, standing there. Soon Swami came out. I could see the light in his face. He straight came to me and said, Dunnapota, I've been waiting for you. Where were you all the time? I said, Swami, we just finished our exam, had our food, got into the car and came. We never wasted any time. That shows the concern. To be frank with you, I didn't see that any lapse of concentration or time. As soon as we finished, we came. But Swami was waiting. And he said, where are you staying? I said, Swami, right, this is our baggage. We showed. We are staying here. Then he said, that's okay. He called the warden, sir, and asked us, okay, take care of these guys' accommodation, put them in the hostel. So everything went that way, smooth, that's over. Next day morning, I got the interview. And I spoke to him. And second day, third day, all the 3 days I got interview. And third day, the kind of attention which I was getting from the students, lecturers and everything, it put me in some uncomfortable zone. And I said, okay, let me go back home. I stayed 3 days and...
Hold on, before you move on, describe for me why it was an uncomfortable type of attention you were getting from the instructors and the fellow students. Was it because Baba was blessing you with so many interviews, or was it for another reason?
There was no other reason. It was too much of attention.
Too much of?
Attention.
Because you were so blessed by Swami. Others were becoming, what, jealous maybe, or wondering why you?
At that point of time, I cannot put all my emotions in one word or 2 different words and say, but I can summarize everything saying that I was not very comfortable.
Okay.
I don't want to go beyond that one, but definitely I was not. I said, okay, I want to go back home.
So it's a matter of your own experience and your own comfort.
It's my perception.
Yeah.
Then
so did you tell him you wanted to go back home?
I went and told him, yes. Because one beautiful thing which we had with Swami is, many of the students agree that the rapport with Swami is very informal. You feel Swami is your friend. You can go and share everything. That's the kind of intimacy. You never treat Swami as God. He cracks jokes with us, he plays with us, he talks to us. And particularly my seniors, they would have experienced much, much more. Very informal sessions with Swami. And I went and told him in the interviews room, Swami, I want to go back home. He looked at me and he just moved on. He didn't say anything. The same evening, I mentioned about it. And third time when I talked to him in the interview room that, Swami, I want to go home. He said, why you want to go home? He said, Swami, you only said that parents are important. And this is the first vacation break I got in my MBA. And I'll be coming back here for next year. Next year, summer, I'm not going out because summer, we have summer course, summer project for MBA students. So I will be staying back here. I won't be going for next summer. So let me go home for a brief period of time, 4-5 days, and come back here. I want to trade something with Swami. It's not that I'm going for long, in the 4-5 days and come back. Make sure that we'll have the contact.
So did he buy it?
He said, if you want to go back, why did you come here at all?
Ah.
Then I said, Swami, well, then when you came here, why you need my permission to go back? He said, Swami, coming here, I need, coming here, it's my will. I came here on my own. But while going back, I need your permission to go back. Then he turned very angrily at me and said, that's the first time I saw, because we were taking Swami for granted all these days. You can say anything to him, he would accept it. He looked very angrily and said, okay, do you think you came on your own? In your interview, you did not do well. And registrar said he crossed your name. And those days the tradition was all the PhD and MBA students, they take the complete list of the students appeared for the examination or for the position, and they take the list of the people who were selected. So they take that list to Swami, and Swami personally checks it. And Swami said, registrar brought, he said, you are not fit for joining MBA here. I put your name there. You think you came on your own?
Wow.
So that's an indication. Then I complete the story of how I came to Swami. And there was second instance, like 2 years passed, I finished my MBA, went home. In one of the informal sessions, my father was saying that, do you know the reason why I insisted you to apply even after the deadline for application passed? The day before he asked me, Shirdi Baba came in his dream, and Shirdi Baba told him, there is a position vacant for Murali at Puttaparthi for MBA. Ask him to apply for it. So he said that when that's the reason why I asked you to apply.
Your father's dream was the reason.
He had a dream.
And
So
it turned out to be real.
Yeah, he insisted because of that reason.
Even though
And
it was too late.
it was too late, right? It was too late. And third, more emphatic information came from the controller of examination, like
Mm-hmm.
Professor Nanjundaya. It's a 92, I think. I went out, finished my MBA, worked there, and went out and came back. And whenever I come, I used to meet some of the senior officials. And Professor Nanjundaya, he was talking to me. Then I went upstairs to, my brother used to work, he is still working in the administrative block for the university. I went there. Then I met one of the accountants there. I don't want to mention his name, but and my brother introduced, okay, he's Murali, my brother. He said, did you do your MBA? I said, I had done. Okay, sir, I have to tell you a story. Then he said, my application came very late to
He was telling you about your application.
my MBA application, which
Right.
was 4 years before. He still remembers the story after 4 years to narrate. The moment he talked about my name, he associated the story with me and said, okay. One night, Professor Nanjundaya called that guy. He called him up and said, okay, Swami just now told me to look for the applications. What happened was, usually after the bhajans, Swami retires after the dinner. But he talks to the officials during that time. And that time he spoke to Professor Nanjundaya and asked, did you finish sending out the hall tickets for MBA students? He said, yes, Swami, everything is done. Did you send an application for Murali? He said, and those days, I mean, any official is very sharp in remembering the names of, particularly because Swami asked them offhand. They don't want to go off guard. He said, Swami, as far as my memory is concerned, I haven't seen any name with that sent out for hall tickets. He said, his application came today, go and get it.
He knew.
It was evening around 6:30 or 7 o'clock.
He had him go get it and bring it to him.
He said, go and check it, not get it, check it.
Okay.
And Professor Nanjundaya thought he can do it to next day, following day he can do it, because it's too late in the evening. And that time we didn't have power supply, we don't have main roads, everything was to the ad block. Within half an hour, 40 minutes, again he got a call from Swami saying that what happened to the hall ticket, I'm still waiting for you. Then he realized the importance of it. Then he asked one of his assistant to go and get the application. So he went to the ad block, opened the doors, turned all the lights on, searched for the application, brought it back to him, which Professor Nanjundaya took it very late in the evening to Swami. So then Swami looked at the application and said, okay, poor fellow, this fellow applied very late, and so forgetful, he didn't even put his photograph. So send the hall ticket and ask him to send 2 photographs back to us. And so this happened even after the deadline was over, and that late moment Swami specifically remembered and asked to send the application. These are the 3 different instances, how I came to that. Swami
His omniscience.
made sure that this particular piece goes to Puttaparthi and studies their MBA. And that happened. How much time I have?
You have time.
So I'll tell you, like, then during the 2 years of
before we move on, what does that tell you? You are already dyed-in-the-wool Baba devotee from Sri Sai, your family loved, all the way through Sathya Sai. Apparently you were raised this way. Apparently you were well aware of Swami's capacity to surprise people endlessly. How surprised were you? Because we're kind of glossing over this, and I don't think you mean to. This had to be a seminal moment in your life when you heard the amount of information that was understood by Swami even before the registrar knew about it.
Right. And Swami says time and again, you're very true, Trade. Swami talks again and again, our relationship, his relationship with any individual. It's not that only this Murali. For any individual spans over lives. It's not only one birth actually. He knows my father or he knows my grandfather, something like that. He knows ages, and he says that I have been tracing you. There are instances he spoke to very many devotees saying that, okay, I have been waiting for you to come for ages. And he says, okay, 5 births back, I know you.
And those aren't just words, because he proved it in your case that he knew much more about you than you were aware of.
Right, yeah. Very true, actually. In my case, he proved it that he knows me.
Well, that's just amazing. Let's go on then from this point.
Right, and during this 2 years, Swami spoke to me many a time. He put me close sometimes, and he put me at a distance for sometimes. He ignores me.
Was that tough when he ignored you during those periods?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you understand it? Did you come to understand what he was doing?
Yes. Oh, it's very prominent when Swami. It's like that when I said that you get an interview, more than that Swami talk to you, you get excited because of the people around you. As soon as you come out, they touch your hand and say, okay, you have any watch? Or they touch your fingers and look for any rings and all those things. They put you in a lot of false expectations and other stuff. But the true love you understand over a period of time. And what Swami wants to give you, you understand over a period of time. It doesn't happen the first day.
And during the period where he would put you on ice, where he would ignore you, what lessons ultimately came from that for you?
Right, yeah, it's very interesting. Like, I'll cut it short. Because I didn't plan for it. And what happened is, I went to Vrindavan after my first semester break. Then I spoke to Swami, and Swami said, okay, now we can go and come back. I went home. Then 2 days after I went home, I got a message from my brother who was there in Puttaparthi saying that, okay, Swami is inquiring about you. I said, come on, I came only 2 days back and I planned to stay for 4 or 5 days. I told Swami also. Then again, another 4th day, he called me up and said, okay, Swami is asking me when you are coming. I said, okay, I'll come. Then I didn't bother about that. I went according to my plan, and after my vacation was complete, I went to Puttaparthi. As soon as I got down from my bus in the bus stand, and someone was walking, he was going out of darshan, like finished his darshan, going back to hostel. He looked at me and said, brother, you know what? Swami is asking about you. And it puts you, okay, you are such a VIP that Swami is looking for you. And
he was setting you up to fall.
Yeah, exactly. He's taking me up so high to make sure that I fall with a decent thud. And I went to the hostel, got myself ready for the evening darshan. I went there. Then as soon as some of the students sitting in the front, they saw me, said, brother, okay, we want to sit next to you. Okay, they gave a place for me to sit in the front, thinking sure that Swami would come and talk to me. And that way at least they get an opportunity to get Swami's Pad Namaskar and other stuff. So I stood there and so high, thinking that Swami would come and talk to me. Swami, and some of the students know it, actually when he opens the interview door, those days, he doesn't open it completely, he just opens it, peeps through the hole with a narrow gap, and That's very funny moment. And he came out. He avoided the area where I sat. He literally avoided the front row, which you cannot miss. It's the front row. When he comes to the lower portico, he definitely has to pass through that. He avoided that area. That darshan passed. Bhajans passed. He didn't talk to me. Next day, same thing happened. Sunday came. It went on for 4 or 5 days. I was boiling. Then during this time actually you start thinking what happened. More than what you are thinking, the people around you, they'll make you aware of what would have gone wrong during this time. That's more torturing, you know. The way how you enjoy, when Swami is talking to you, you enjoy, you know, everyone is coming and saying, okay, oh my God, you are so fortunate.
Yeah.
Swami gave you that. And this comment says, okay, boss, what are the movies you watched during this vacation?
What were the movies you watched?
And did you go
what were
out
the
for
food you eat?
Yeah, what kind of food you ate? Where did you go? Whom did you talk? What did you talk? Then first 2 days or 3 days actually it puts you so low in your spirits, but later you start thinking it, and that's a real sadhana actually. And for anything, it goes for any person for that matter. That's a real sadhana. You start thinking the high days when Swami talked to you, you would have done the same things and Swami was talking to you, and you wouldn't have done anything wrong or different during this time when Swami is not talking to you. Then you start realizing those things. Then you do a lot of things on trial and error basis. Okay, Swami might not like. In case I go to Suprabhatam, Swami will be happy, so I'll start doing Suprabhatam. In case I am polite and decent to the people, Swami might be happy. Or if I put extra work on studies, Swami might be happy. Let me do this one. And every day you do something very intently, very decently, and go back to darshan and look for his reaction. When it doesn't happen, okay,
So your motivation's a little bit less than perfect. It's a selfish motivation.
Yeah, it's more of inward analysis which happens because your motivation to get close to him physically is always there. And that is the burning desire. And that desire came because Swami has given you your love for all these days. Swami has built that expectation, saying that, okay, he keeps on inquiring about you before you come to Puttaparthi. Are you coming? When is he coming? What is he doing? All these things. You think that, okay, Swami is so fond of you, but totally different thing happens. Now you started going through all those drill and say, okay, and this happens with every devotee's life.
And he wants you to do it, it seems to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, to instill in you a greater understanding and adherence to what I would call non-attachment to outcome. In other words, doing it for the right reason, not just to have Swami reward you with his attention.
Kind of yes to that one, but at the same time it gives you a lot of introspection.
Okay.
And this is what actually is needed. When Swami keeps talking to you forever continuously and you don't look at your negative side, because Swami is rewarding you all the time, you think that whatever you're doing is fine. But during the downtime, you start looking at the other angle in you, other aspects of life, and say, okay, this is maybe wrong, so let me correct it. And that happens, and finally Swami comes back and assures you that this is what I need from you. So when that happens, it's an assurance that, okay, this is what Swami is looking at you, because you went in a hard way that you remember for a long time. It happens in every devotee's life, and my issue is different because I got immediate answer. I went through a guide. I prepared the exams with the help of a guide who always corrected me. But in most of us lives, what happens is actually you go through the downtime. When you are going, everything is the way how you planned it. You don't take it so interestedly about doing the pujas or introspections and all these things. But when you are on downside, when you lose job or when you have financially down or something like that, then you keep on thinking of God more. And same thing happened to me also.
So that period of introspection really becomes a centerpiece in a person's life.
Exactly.
To look inward, as we were talking about the last couple of days, to find, maybe flaws is the right word, maybe it's the wrong word, to find areas where the potential for improvement exists in elevating your soul and elevating your higher self.
Only when you look inward.
Yes.
Yeah. And Swami creates an environment where he'll force you to look inward, which we would not have thought otherwise.
And what you're telling us is so very important, because there's not enough hours in the day for Swami to come to all of us who are devotees and those who aren't devotees on a personal basis to share, to have us all learn that lesson, but we can learn it by example from the way he treats those
Right.
he is physically close to, has been physically close to over the years,
Right.
such as yourself.
Yeah.
So let me ask you the question that I've been asking other people lately. You had such proximity to Swami, the ups and the downs, teaching you introspection. How has all of that helped you cope with the disappearance of his physical form in this world today? Has that changed your outlook on any level?
No. It didn't. Swami is Swami. Swami is Swami. Whether he is physically there or not. Okay, look at my life. I physically left Puttaparthi in 1990. And to answer that question, I'll tell you the teachings which I learned also. I'll talk about the teachings later, but let me finish off your answering your question. I left Puttaparthi in 1990, and when I went to Swami, again, I used to go almost, since we used to live in Hyderabad, which was not too far, once in a month I used to go to Puttaparthi those days. And till 92, that is 2 years after I left Puttaparthi, and Swami, whenever I go to Puttaparthi, very frequently, once a month or once in 2 months, whatever it is, and he would come, give me Pada Namaskar and talk to me what I am doing, how I am doing it. It happened for 2 years. Then after that, 92 onwards, I am giving approximate time.
Yeah.
And whenever I go to Swami, he comes close, never looked at me, never talked to me, but he used to come close to me. And over a period of time, he even reduced that one. You have to see that the kind of highs which I enjoyed with him, I used to walk into his interview room those days when I want to. There are a lot of instances, like when I was working for it, I demanded interview. Swami, I want to have an interview. And those are the days. And when I was working in accommodation, I used to stand in front of the doorstep, and when Swami's car is going by, people will be standing completely on either side of the road, and Swami would look for me like this and wave his hand. Those highs. To the days I'm talking about, when I stand in front of him with a letter, he ignores me. Going, but what happened is gradually that is phasing out. But never my intensity to him reduced. There were days actually when I came from Puttaparthi, if I don't do Suprabhatam, usually it's a pattern. I was a room leader for 1 year in my second year MBA, and we have done Suprabhatam as a part of our life. And if I don't get up at 5:30 and do Suprabhatam on that day, 2 years or 3 years later also, I used to cry, Swami, what happened? Why didn't you wake me up today? That is the intensity, that was the intensity I had. Gradually, I had intensity for Swami's love remains the same. And Swami physically reduced, but physical proximity came down, reduced. But at the same time, my love for Swami never reduced. I used to go with the same intensity to the bhajans, prayers and service activities in Hyderabad. That was there. And time passed. I came to USA. Then I started a group here with Sai Student USA, all the students, and we have done some projects for the university and for outside. Intensity remains the same. Then in 2003 actually I went there and Swami talked to me. We opened Bridge Across Time. Actually I was instrumental in bringing that CDs, and we gave it to Swami. Swami blessed it. That time Swami spoke. Almost 10 years did not speak to me, but he spoke to me after 10 years.
That must have been very, very sweet for you.
Yeah, and 2003 we never expected, because expectations were absolutely zero. We started doing our activities, all the students, most of us actually, we feel that this is our duty, we have to do it. We never expect for any rewards from Swami. It happened. In 2003, Swami started coming in wheelchairs. He was walking very slow. And that time I used to call very frequently to my brother and other students in Puttaparthi and said, okay, how is Swami? And how are you feeling? When Swami is coming in wheelchair, are you comfortable? He's God. Come on, he's coming on wheelchair. I was so excited. He said, yes, he is God. So let's not question him. Let's not accept him the way how he is. Okay? That started sinking in later over a period of time. And all through my life during this time, when I went down and I see Swami's hand physically coming, lifting me up and bringing me out of that one, where did I miss Swami? Where did I miss Swami? Swami was with me in my heart. Am I missing my Suprabhatam? Am I stopped doing my bhajans? And Swami said, wherever my bhajans are sung, I install myself there. Swami is there. He is not a physical entity. Saying that Swami is in Puttaparthi. Yes, we definitely want to go to Puttaparthi because that's a land where Swami walked in 2 legs. Every inch of it reminds me of memories of Puttaparthi. I've seen that. So going to Puttaparthi is charging my batteries. I will definitely keep going it. But last few years, okay, Swami spoke to me again in 2008 and Swami spoke to me in 2010. We went and presented our program to Swami and Swami spoke to me. He remembered those days and said, okay, that day he has done it. Apart from all those things, I don't think I ever miss Swami.
No, that's a beautiful way to...
So, and even today, when I go to Swami, when I go to Puttaparthi, whether I see Mahasamadhi or Swami in the wheelchair, it doesn't make any difference. Because he doesn't come to me and say, okay, how are you, what are you doing it? He doesn't interact to me in the physical level. So when he doesn't interact me in the physical level, why do I miss him? He is with me.
Boy, there are some very important lessons there.
I cry. The day I miss him is when I stop thinking of him. If that ever happens, okay, then I say I'm missing him. So long I think of him, I don't miss him.
My guess is that's never going to happen in this lifetime.
I'm happy. Thanks for that. It should not happen. So there is no question of I miss Swami. And if at all I really miss, or if at all I really want him, I want to get into that level where Swami, I want to talk to you physically. Come and sit here. He has to come and sit here. If I go to that level, I'm very happy. That's my desire. But I don't think I miss Swami.
That's really so well expressed.
And okay, what drives you all these days? There is another story I'll tell you. I can talk about. Okay, I'll tell you a small story. Like we finished our MBA. All of us were doing fine, and we wanted to continue stay in Puttaparthi. Then I went to Swami. All of us, there were 28 to 30 students from across different batches, MBA, MCOM, MSc, and after the summer we were sitting in Swami and portico and we were asking Swami, we want to study. And Swami kept on saying that go back home, your parents have a lot of expectations, you earned this degrees because you have to go and earn money also, that's completion of your life and your parents are expecting it. And we said no. It so happened that one fine day Swami called us and said, okay, all of you sit here. Then Swami called one of the boys and said, go and get the vibhuti. We know that when he says that go and get the vibhuti, that means he is giving us prasad, taking pad namaskar and leave the place. We don't want to do that. So none of us got up and said, we went and bought vibhuti. We didn't want vibhuti because we don't want to leave. Swami said, go and get vibhuti. No one got up. Then he himself went. So compassionate Lord, loving Lord. He knows what it is good for us, but we don't want to take it. You know, most of the mothers would have noticed with their children. Mother thinks it's good, but children thinks otherwise. And he went inside, brought the vibhuti and started giving vibhuti. There are a couple of students who took the vibhuti reluctantly. When he came to me, I said no. He took the vibhuti and put it in my pocket because I was not opening my palms. I took it back from my pocket and put it in the basket, said I don't want vibhuti. And Swami looked so serious and he said, Swami is no different from Swami's word. If you want Swami, you have to follow Swami's word. The day you don't follow Swami's word, that means you are not following Swami. Why you need Swami? It's a question to everyone we have to put ourselves, saying that, okay, why you need Swami when you don't listen to Swami? Swami had spoken, everything is captured in Sai Speaks. Sathya Sai Speaks, so many volumes are there. How many times we read it, or even we read it, how much we follow it. We don't do that one. We say that we are missing Swami. Why do we miss Swami? Why do we really miss Swami when Swami has captured all his words with us and Swami is no different from his words? You follow those words, he is with you. And that's what he said. Oh my God, then I was taken aback and said, okay, there is enough, game is over. And there's enough you can do it with Swami, and there's a line which he clearly reminds you. Then I said, Swami, okay, if you insist that I have to go, I'll go. But I don't want to go from the veranda like this. I want you to speak to us and tell us what we have to do. Then we'll go. So then next day he called us for interview and spoke to all the boys. Then he gave me a job later. But all these things are different. But what is more important is Swami is no different from Swami's words. And that's what actually I want to say. Today I don't miss Swami because Swami's words are with me. So long I follow his words, I don't miss him.
And he was always teaching that message to you in action.
Yes.
Did you ultimately accept the vibhuti?
Yeah. Well, I didn't accept it. Because-
Sure, you had to.
Yeah. Because Swami
It
word
was
is
Swami.
different.
Swami wanted you to have it.
Right.
Those were his words. And if you wanted Swami, you would
Exactly.
accept it.
Yeah.
Wonderful stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll come back again to this region and hear more.
Sure.
God bless you and Sai Ram.
Thank you. Sai Ram.
Radhe